Hello, a very good evening. Welcome to tonight's evening news at 6 news coming to you live from the 10th Avenue Extension, Greater Estate. The news is also live across all our social media handle on MBN 360. My name is El Samuels. First, the headlines. Ghana is back. Ghana is working again, Mahama declares at the 2026 State of the Nation's address. Principal of Nalerigu Nurses and Midwifery College suspended over unauthorized admissions. In business, over 1 million Ghanaians secured jobs in 2 quarters of 2025, President Mahama. On the foreign front, Spanish opposition calls for disgraced ex-monarch to return from exile. Now the stories in details. The President, John Dramani Mahama, has announced that Ghana's economy is stabilizing and returning to growth, declaring in Parliament that Ghana is back and Ghana is working again. Delivering the 2026 State of the Nation's address on Friday, 27th February, the President told members of Parliament that although the path to recovery has been challenging, the government's economic measures are beginning to yield tangible results.
Today, Mr. Speaker, I can say to you with confidence, Ghana is back. Ghana is working again. And Ghana is open for business. The fundamentals are improving, and the path to sustained acceleration is very clear to everyone. From the outset, we resolved to choose discipline over waste, reform over excuses, and stability over speculation. As a responsible government, our first order of business was to halt the economic hemorrhaging and restore order to our public finances. We tightened expenditure and commitment controls. We improved payables reporting and conducted a comprehensive audit of 2024 commitments to restore credibility and discipline. Mr. Speaker, these measures have begun to deliver some of the most remarkable economic outcomes in decades.
The President reminded the House that he had previously promised to reset the economy despite prevailing challenges.
We are restoring hope by delivering on our promises and proving that good leadership makes a measurable difference in our people's lives. The Resetting Ghana agenda is working. The Accra reset is gaining momentum. And together they are laying the foundation for a stronger, more resilient and more prosperous Ghana.
Tough decisions, he noted, were essential to restore stability. The Minister for Health, Kobna Minta Akando, has ordered immediate suspension of the principal of the Nurses and Midwifery Training College in Nalerigu in the Northeast region. The decision comes after a preliminary investigation revealed instances of unauthorized admissions at the institution. The directive was issued during the minister's working visit to the Upper East, Northeast, and Northern regions, where he toured health facilities and training institutions to assess operations and service delivery. Following a briefing on the irregularities, the minister visited the college and, based on initial findings, suspended the head of the institution pending further investigations. Minister Akando emphasized that strict adherence to established admission protocols is non-negotiable and warned that any head of a training institution found engaging in unauthorized practices will face the firm sanctions. He reiterated the ministry's commitment to transparency, accountability, and upholding of high standards in health training institutions nationwide. Cocoa Pods became the unexpected vocal point of political drama in Parliament on Friday, February 28, as the ministry, the minority members, staged a symbolic protest moment before the President delivered the State of the Nation's address. So now. The tense scenes unfolded just after the Speaker of Parliament, Agbansumana Kingsford Bagwe, invited the President, John Mahama, to address the House. MPs on the majority side broke into a celebratory Chi chorus, or the Asempano Abba, meaning he has brought good news. The chant was interspersed with references to the government proposed 24-hour economy, a policy initiative aimed at boosting productivity and stimulating growth. However, the minority caucus swiftly responded with a counter-chant altering the final line to Atonsium, literally translated as it has fallen into water, a phrase commonly used to suggest failure. Yet it was not the competing songs that drew the greatest attention. In a striking visual gesture, the minority MPs displayed a cocoa pot in the chamber, turning the spotlight squarely on what they describe as a deepening crisis in Ghana's cocoa sector. Cocoa is one of Ghana's most important export commodities and a cornerstone of the nation's economy. The crop supports hundreds of thousands of a farming household and remains a critical source of foreign exchange earning. The minority protests suggest growing frustration over how these issues are being addressed, particularly at a time when the government is projecting economic recovery. The funeral rites are being held today for the 29-year-old engineer Charles Emisa, whose death has sparked public concern over access to emergency health care in Ghana. Charles Emisa was reportedly knocked down in a hit-and-run incident at the Nkrumah Circle overpass in Accra. After the crash, he was rushed to seek urgent medical attention. However, he was allegedly turned away by 3 major hospitals in the capital, each citing no vacant bed available, and according to account from his family and close associates, he later died, a development that has raised questions about the emergency response systems and hospital capacity in the city. The Ministry of Health and the Ghana Health Service has since launched an investigation into the case and have interdicted 2 medical doctors and 2 nurses for their alleged roles in the incident. Ghana's Minister for Foreign Affairs Samuel Okudzeto-Ablakwa has secured a real access to 2 Ghanaian citizens being held in prisons of war in Ukraine, describing the visit as a major diplomatic breakthrough in the ongoing efforts to secure their release. The minister disclosed on Thursday that he was granted access to a highly fortified security camp where the 2 Ghanaians are being detained. He thanked Vladimir Zelensky and the Ukraine Foreign Minister Andriy Sybiha for approving what he described as an unusual request, reportedly the first of its kind by an African foreign minister.
Thank you very much for hosting us today. You have been very gracious since we arrived here in the beautiful city of Kiev.
He noted that the real access granted by the Ukrainian authority reflects the cordial bilateral relations between Ghana and Ukraine and strengthens confidence in ongoing negotiations aimed at securing the men's freedom
in the battlefield. And it is important to emphasize that their actions, regrettable, unfortunate, they should be seen as victims. They are not engaged in any sanctioned activity.
The identity of the 2 prisoners have been withheld for security reasons. However, the minister revealed that both men expressed a firm resolve to turn their ordeal into advocacy. Mr. Ablakwa's visit to Kiev forms part of a high-level diplomatic engagement between Ghana and Ukraine, during which he also held talks with the President Zelensky. The discussions are understood to have centered on bilateral cooperation and humanitarian consideration regarding the detained Ghanaians. The development marks a significant step in Ghana's diplomatic push to secure the safe return of its citizens whilst reinforcing its commitment to protecting nationals caught up in foreign conflicts. 55 Ghanaians have been killed in the ongoing war between Russia and Ukraine after allegedly being lured into conflict by criminal recruitment networks, Foreign Affairs Minister Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa has revealed. In a Facebook post following his official visit to Kiev, the minister disclosed that Ukraine's authority, based on what he described as credible intelligence, have documented 1,780 Africans from 36 countries who were trafficked to join the war against Ukraine. According to him, 272 Ghanaians are believed to have been recruited into the conflict since 2022, with an estimated 55 killed and 2 currently held as prisoners of war. Mr. Ablakwa said the government would intensify public education to warn young people about the dangers of illegal recruitment schemes linked to the war. During the visit, the minister met with his Ukrainian counterpart and joined him in laying flowers at a war of remembrance. He described their discussions as substantive and focused on strengthening bilateral relations. The President, John Dramani Mahama, has declared zero tolerance stance on the long-standing no-bed syndrome, insisting every Ghanaian who seeks medical attention must be attended to. Speaking during the 2026 State of the Nation's Address SONA on Friday, 27th of February, he outlined immediate directives and long-term infrastructure projects aimed at strengthening healthcare delivery nationwide. The President announced that the Ministry of Health will issue the new guidelines to ensure that patients facing medical emergencies are received and treated even under makeshift conditions where necessary.
The Ghana Medical Trust Fund will be scaled up and access to advanced cardiac care, including cardiac catheterization services at Tamale, Kolebu, and Komfo Anokye Hospital, will be expanded to reduce overseas referrals and position Ghana as a center for specialized care in the sub-region, in line with our medical tourism objectives. Mr. Speaker, the Ministry of Health is expected to issue guidelines to eliminate the unacceptable no-bed syndrome. Patients facing medical emergencies must be received and given help, if even under makeshift conditions. You don't need to have a comfortable bed to save a patient. No patient must be turned away from any health facility they report to.
Whilst interim measures will prioritize emergency care, the President, Mahama, also highlighted plans to expand healthcare capacity through major constructions and rehabilitation projects across the country by linking stricter emergency response protocols with hospital expansion. The President, Mahama, said his administration is determined to create a healthcare system where no citizen is denied care regardless of time, location, or the severity of the emergencies. He reiterated the government remains committed to ensuring timely access to medical treatment for all Ghanaians. On this note, we go for a quick commercial break. While we return, we'll bring you business. In business, the President, John Dramani Mahama, has announced that more than 1 million Ghanaians gained employment within the first 2 quarters of 2025, describing it as a strong sign of economic recovery. Speaking during the 2026 State of the Nation's Address SONA in Parliament on Friday, February 27th, the President said the figures reflect the impact of a targeted intervention aimed at stimulating job creation across key sectors of the economy. According to him, government policies focus on agriculture and infrastructure, small and medium-sized enterprises, and the digital economy have contributed significantly to the employment gains recorded so far this year.
And according to the Ghana Statistical Services, over 1 million Ghanaians have found employment between Q1 and Q3 of 2025. Mr. Speaker, and 950,000 Ghanaians have escaped multidimensional poverty over the same period. Mr. Speaker, I'm pleased to report that our external position has strengthened significantly. By December 2025, our current account recorded a surplus of 9.1 billion, representing 8.1% of our GDP. This is a remarkable increase from 1.5 billion or 1.8% of GDP in 2024.
He noted that whilst progress has been made, government remains committed to expanding opportunities further, particularly for the youth through sustained investment and private sector participation. The president added that job creation will remain central to his administration economic agenda as it works to consolidate growth and improve living standards nationwide. Still at the Chamber of the Parliament, the President, John Dramani Mahama, has affirmed that Ghana's economic recovery is firmly underway, telling Parliament that this government did not seek to arrest the dollar, but instead strengthen the national currency to compete effectively on the international stage. Delivering the 2026 State of the Nation's address SONA, the President Mahama placed the performance of the Ghanaian cedi at the center of his administration's first-year achievement, firming its appreciation as a reflection of restored economic discipline and confidence. The comment, which excited laughter from some MPs, was seen as a jibe at the former Vice President and MPP's 2024 election flag bearer, who once said his government has arrested the dollar only for his administration to leave the currency in a weaker state before exiting office.
Mr. Speaker, to the interesting part, exchange rate volatility has long been at the heart of hardship in Ghanaian households. We made currency stability a priority, and Mr. Speaker, we have delivered. Mr. Speaker, we did not arrest the dollar. We strengthened the cedi to put up a good fight against the other currencies.
The president reported that the cedi has appreciated significantly 40.7% against the United States dollar. This gains marks a dramatic reversal from the previous step depreciation episodes, which had in recent years driven inflation, eroded purchasing power, and unsettled import-dependent businesses. I will bring you the entertainment story right after this break. Stay with us. On entertainment stories, a medical has been appointed as an ambassador for the National Youth Authority campaign against the use of synthetic drug known as RED among young people. The Minister for Youth Development and Empowerment, George Opariado, has announced. George told Parliament on Wednesday, February 23, 2026, that the appointment was intended to harness the musician's influence to strengthen the anti-drug message among the Ghana's youth, especially those at risk of substance abuse.
In a strategic move to enhance the campaign's appeal and credibility among the youth, the National Youth Authority has appointed renowned Ghanaian musician Medical as an official Red Means Stop ambassador. Medical's significant influence among young Ghanaians, particularly those his music and social media, through his music and social media presence, makes him an ideal advocate for substance-free living. As Red Means Stop ambassador, Medical serves as a visible role model, championing anti-drug messaging through his artistic work, public appearance, and social media platforms. His involvement includes participating in schools outreach, featuring Red Means top themes in music videos and performances among young people, and engaging with young folks on substance abuse and dangers, and supporting peer advocate training and mobilization initiatives.
He added that Medical would serve as a viable role model by promoting drug-free living through public appearance and online engagement. This includes taking part in a school outreach program featuring Red Means Stop team in music videos and performance, and supporting advocacy training and mobilization efforts. Mr. Opariado said that alongside the ambassadorial appointment, the National Youth Authority has implemented measures to strengthen the fight against substance abuse. The Red Means Stop campaign forms part of a broader national effort under the Ministry of Youth Development and Empowerment to raise awareness about the dangers of opium abuse and promote healthier lifestyle among young people. And that brings us to the end of the entertainment story. We're going for a break. When we return, we'll bring you sports. The President of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, has urged supporters and individuals who are interested in going to the North America for the 2026 World Cup to return after the tournament. There have been situations where Ghanaians have attended sporting events in foreign countries and have used the opportunity to overstay their visas. Mahama is hoping the 2026 Mondial, which will be hosted in Mexico, USA, and Canada, will not carry the same fate as previous competition. Speaking on the floor of Parliament during the State of the Nation's address on Friday, February 27th, he recounted the country's efforts to ensure the ban imposed on many African countries by the U.S.
Make our 5th FIFA World Cup appearance. And for us, this is an opportunity to boost national branding and the economy beyond just sports. Mr. Speaker, supporters and other people interested in going to support the team would have to submit a visa request to the American Embassy. We are being told that we must ensure that supporters who go return on the visas. It has taken a lot of work to restore Ghana's 5-year non-immigrant visas and take us off the ban list. It is my hope that this event will not send thousands of Ghanaians to America and get us back on the ban list. Mr. Speaker,
the Black Stars will use Bryant University as its base camp during training for the World Cup, which will see them play Panama, England, and Croatia. Chelsea Football Club Director of Football David Bannon has also stated that his club has no fear for getting a draw against defending UEFA Champions League champions Paris Saint-Germain in the round of 16 stage. The draw was conducted on Friday, February 27th, with the Blues set to play the French champions who doubled as the defending champions of Euro Premier Football competition. The first leg of the round of 16 stage games will be played on March 10th and 11th, with the second legs taking place on March 17th and 18th. Chelsea qualified automatically to the round of 16 stage, but PSG qualified via the play-off route. PSG beat AS Monaco 5-4 on aggregate over 2 leagues in all French team tie. Now we're moving straight to the international front, but right after this break. On the international front, a drone jammed by the Swedish military after it was spotted near a French aircraft carrier docked at Malon was probably Russian, Swedish Defense Minister Paul Janssen said. The French military said the drone was spotted 7 nautical miles, that's 13 kilometers from the Charles de Gaulle carrier, which has never visited Sweden before and is due to take part in the NATO exercises in the region. Johnson told Swedish public broadcaster SVT there was probably a strong link between the drone and a Russian naval vessel in the Swedes' territorial waters in the Oxen Strait between Sweden and Denmark. It is not clear what happened to the drone, but Johnson said the Russian ship sailed onto the Baltic Sea. Karim spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said claims the drone was Russian were absurd. For months, NATO allies have reported drone sighting close to the military sites and airports, including a number of incidents in Denmark and the Baltic states. An investigation was launched in December after drones flew over the Lian Launch Naval Base, which is home to French nuclear ballistic submarines off the Breton town of Brest. In another story, the leader of Spain's main opposition party has called for the disgraced former king Juan Carlos to return from serving post-exile due to the role he played in the transition to democracy nearly half a century ago. Juan Carlos, who is 88, took the throne in 1975 following the death of his mentor and the dictator Francisco Franco. He helped steer the country towards becoming a parliamentary democracy, and his actions were seen as instrumental in thwarting an attempted coup by the pro-Franco forces in 1981, securing his popularity with the many Spaniards for the decades to come. Further scandals engulf him after it emerged he has received $100 million payment from a late king of Saudi Arabia and has an offshore fund in Jersey. In August 2020, he left the country to live in the United Arab Emirates, where he has resided ever since. His son and the heir, King Felipe, endorsed the move, which has kept him out of the public eye, with the exception of occasional visit he has made to Spain for sailing, regatta, and also social events. And that's how we end this evening news. 6 News coming to you live from our studios on the 10th Avenue Extension, Greater Estate. The news was also live across our social media handle. But before we take leave of you, let's take a second look at the stories making headlines. Ghana is back. Ghana is working again, Mahama declares at the 2026 State of the Nation's address. Principal of Nalerigu Nurses and Midwifery College suspended over unauthorized admissions. In business, over 1 million Ghanaians secured jobs in 2 quarters of 2025, President Mahama. On the foreign front, Spanish opposition calls for disgraced ex-monarch to return from exile. So that's how we end the news. My name is El Samuels. For more news, log on to MBN 360. Do have a good evening.